And here we go, underway between the Demon Deacons and the Eagles. The high-energy freshman Milan Brown dropping it down low for Kennedy Moore. First bucket of the night.
Great start for the Demon Deacons. Excellent dribble penetration by Milan Brown.
NC Central comes in tonight averaging just under 60 points per contest. 1 and 3 on the year. That pass deflected. Turnover forced by Wake. They managed to save it thanks to Aurora Sorby. It's the Demon Deacons offense scoring more than 70 per contest with a miss there.
Wake Forest gets back in this 2-3 zone. So the Eagles are going to really have to focus on how can they get to the interior in the paint against the zone.
It's a Wake Forest team that couldn't have asked for a better schedule to start off the year. They have 1 road trip total in the 2025 portion of the schedule coming up in Puerto Rico over Thanksgiving. Otherwise, 11 home games until we hit 2026. Brown draws the whistle.
You can see early on in this game, Milan Brown is being really aggressive off the dribble, and that is one of the things that she's so good at. Just a freshman, she's such a physical force.
Megan Jebbia in her 4th season now, former 2-time Patriot League Coach of the Year, and her previous stop in American, where she spent 9 seasons. There's Milan Brown, freshman out of Baltimore, makes the first. This historically has been a very good free throw shooting team under Megan Jebbia, but she wants to see them improve those numbers this year.
Yeah, Coach talked a lot about they left about 10 points on the floor last week when they didn't make their free throws.
Great feed by Brown to Oliver, but can't finish.
Brown is such a good off-ball player, but doing a nice job off the dribble, setting up her teammates.
This is an NC Central team that likes to push the pace. Picked to come in 4th in the MEAC. They did receive a first place vote. And a dangerous offense, but the miss there, and they are still without a point.
Well, Shakiria Foster is going to be somebody that's going to need to look to take a lot of shots against that zone.
Brown looking to feed it to Oliver down low, but turned it over. Turnovers were a concern in Wake Forest's last victory over Mercer. A lot of turnovers in the 3rd quarter, and there's the first bucket of the night for the Eagles.
It's one of the things that Morgan Callahan does really well in transition or in secondary break, being able to put the ball on the floor and attack the rim.
I mentioned Morgan Callahan, number 3 for NC Central, the preseason MEAC Player of the Year. And once again, Brown had a pass deflective, contact underneath, and a whistle, as Kennedy Moore, the sophomore forward, was driving to the bucket. Leading the way for NC Central, Terrence Baxter in his 3rd year. He told us before the game, listen, he said, I grew up about a half hour from here. I got a lot of friends and family coming to watch me tonight. We cannot disappoint.
So much fun talking to him. He really likes this Eagles team on the season. They're healthy, and they're playing really hard for him.
He said they're healthy for the first time in 3 years. Close miss down low by Oliver.
Good job.
Double dribble on the Eagles.
Good job by Sorby on that play. Not just giving up, but forcing a little bit of pressure. Just right here, you see putting the ball on the floor, and Sorby does not relent and getting back on defense, force a little bit of a turnover. That's one of the things that Wake Forest is going to want to do. They want to get back in that zone defense, but they want to slow down this Eagles transition offense.
Already 3 turnovers forced by the Wake Forest defense here in the opening moments of this contest. Wake has done a lot of damage in the paint this season, but it's Brown with the pull-up jumper and the miss.
Brown really aggressive early on in this game.
The feed down low somehow found its way to Callahan, but Wake Forest comes up with it.
We talked about the size disadvantage, so that Wake Forest size is giving the Eagles a little bit of problem right now.
Yeah, NC Central doesn't have a starter over 6 feet. Quite a different story for Wake Forest. A number of players 6'2" and taller. Seeing consistent action.
So much spacing right now offensively.
That ends a stretch of 4 straight misses. Kennedy Moore with the bucket.
Well, nice assist again. The second assist for Milan Brown on that point. Got to the elbow, drawing 2, and was able to kick it out to the wide open shooter for 3.
Shakiria Foster drops it off her finger. Wake pushing it back the other way. Talented sophomore out of Norway. Sorby feeds it down low and a whistle as Oliver will head to the free throw line. Grace Oliver, the sophomore transfer out of Colorado, 21 points in her last win.
Nice job by Milan Brown right there attacking the paint. She drew 2 defenders and was able to kick it out for Kennedy Moore on that shot. Great job. Again, that's a 6'2" post player spotting up in the corner for that shot.
Oliver makes the first. And by the way, that is already 2 quick fouls on Anaya Finger, the preseason all-conference senior we were mentioning in the top of the broadcast. I mean, that's huge. We're just a few minutes into the game.
Well, you know that this is one of those ball games. If you're a player, you want to play against some of the better teams, the bigger conference teams. And you could see in warm-up she was anxious. She was hyped up. Unfortunately, having to go to the bench early on in this ball game.
Had 19 points earlier this year against UNC Wilmington. And a double-double against Asheville.
The good thing for North Carolina Central is that coach says that they're really deep this year, so they have a lot of players that can come off the bench.
About 14 deep, but Wake Forest working in the paint. Mary Carter, the junior transfer from Cal Poly.
Carter and all of the Wake Forest post players doing a nice job on the low block of pinning and sealing.
I mean, they average more than 40 points in the paint per game this year. Going back to their bread and butter.
That is definitely their bread and butter.
Eagles trying to slow things down and end this 6-0 Wake Forest run. Shot clock already at 3. Eagles got to do something. Young heaving it up. And another miss by NC Central. Sorby down low to Oliver. To her left, back to her right, underneath. And that will force NC Central to call a timeout. It's an 8-0 Demon Deacons run early here in Winston-Salem. A season ago, the assists per game up, the turnovers down. That trend continuing early tonight, Angela.
Coach Gebbia talking a lot about the offensive execution and how this team is so unselfish, willing to pass up a good shot in order to be able to get a great shot.
3 assists and just 1 turnover so far here in the first for the Demon Deacons on an 8-0 run. NC Central, meanwhile, hasn't scored in the last 2.5 minutes plus. That one nearly turned over, driving to the paint, the close miss by Blake. It'll be Wake ball.
Wake Forest making it really difficult for NC Central to get the ball in the middle of the paint, whether that's off the dribble or just with a pass at the high post. NC Central needs to continue moving the ball around the perimeter, but look for someone to cut into that high post so they can get a 3-on-2, 2-on-1 advantage.
Listen, give NC Central credit. They may only be 1-3 on the year, but they consistently put together a brutal schedule facing a number of ranked opponents, a number of top 10 opponents as well. They're going to play South Carolina in a little bit. I mean, they do not shy away from tough competition. Yeah,
played North Carolina earlier this season, South Carolina and Oklahoma coming up, and they talked about these players love to rise up to the level of competition.
They play about an hour and a half from here in Durham, making the trek over here for their first matchup against Wake Forest in 15 years. 1-6 all-time against the Deacs. And while a whistle in the first meeting since 2010, Terrence Baxter, who, by the way, has done a heck of a job in now 3 years, took over as interim head coach in 2023, a month before the season started, and all he did was guide them to their first winning record in more than a decade, and now his team gets their 2nd bucket of the night.
Nice job by Matt Penn right there. Brings the most size on this NC Central roster.
Yeah, 6'5", and 1 on the other end for Wake Forest.
Well, it started off with Milan Brown attacking off the dribble, and now Raven Preston comes in. Nice job going baseline, and Penn is simply not there in good help side position to be able to come over.
Raven Preston, the junior transfer from Elon. This is a Wake team that won just 9 games a year ago. So Megan Gebbia said, we have to hit the portal. Got to bring in a ton of freshmen. She did just that and has completely transformed this year's edition of the team.
8 newcomers, 3 freshmen who are playing significant roles on this roster.
Driving to the bucket is Blake, drops it off for the 6'5" Penn, gets it to go.
That's exactly what the Eagles need to do. Dribble penetration is going to break this zone defense up. And they'll have some nice opportunities for dump-offs.
6'5" senior out of Senegal, active early in this one.
Really aggressive in the passing lanes.
Carter can hit that, and she does. She is lethal from three-point land.
That completely unlocks your offense. If you have a post player who is able to space the floor from well beyond three.
Top 5 in the ACC in three-point percentage, and a quick miss on the other end. Sorby, Emily John, senior captain, who's now in there. Carter. Johns, nice ball movement by the Demon Deacons as the shot clock dips under 10. Preston will take that. That one planks off the iron.
It's a good look by Preston. The defender did not put their hand up, so you might as well go ahead and take that shot.
Nasia Lane gets it to fall.
Nice secondary break by Nasia Lane. Didn't have a transition opportunity, but a nice job using the screen and the drag screen.
Preston baseline, wanted the whistle and gets it.
NC Central already with 5 early fouls, all because Wake Forest is doing a great job of attacking off of the dribble, getting the defenders out of position.
Time to take a look now. Next Monday night's ACC Network featured women's basketball matchup, as we'll get a good look at Hannah Hidalgo leading the nation in scoring, and number 24 Notre Dame playing host to Central Michigan at 9 Eastern. Also available on the all-new ESPN app. Hidalgo coming off that monster 16-steal performance recently. She had more steals in that game than 4 D1 teams have all year.
Let me tell you what, she probably had more points in that game than a lot of D1 teams as well, but Hidalgo's such a special player. And defensively, you have to love somebody who loves playing on the defensive end, especially someone who's so capable offensively.
She is going off this year. Meanwhile, Preston goes 2 for 2 at the line. Wake up by 11 with less than 3 to play in the first. Hinton misses from the outside. James turns toward the coaching staff as Wake resets the offense.
Coach is really encouraged by the freshman Jones.
Preston somehow found Oliver.
She definitely was able to thread the needle on that pass. It did not look like there was much of an opening. Beautiful dish.
Nasia Lane down low. Central trying to answer. Now their offense starting to get going.
Well, that's one of the things that Callahan is able to do. She's got great body control and able to get to the rim off of one dribble.
And Nasia Lane had her arm hooked around Opal Bird and got called for it.
Nice job right here by Raven Preston. She got caught up, doubled on the ball, but she kept her vision up and a nice dump down pass.
I mean, you can see it, NC Central struggling to defend that size in the paint for Wake Forest. They're getting called for foul almost every trip down the floor.
Well, you get the sense that NC Central was talking about. We need to be really aggressive getting out in the passing lanes, like try to be disruptive, get some deflection, get some steals, but they're being overly aggressive, which is putting them out of position to be able to come over and help side and to stop the dribble penetration.
Bird makes the first. Opal Bird, freshman out of Sydney, Australia, one of 2 players from Australia on this Wake Forest squad.
Had a really nice game last week against Mercer. Had a career-high 8 assists in that game. And again, it just shows you how unselfish this roster is and how talented the freshmen are.
Again, Wake off to an impressive 4-0 start this year for the first time since 2021 when they began the year 7-0. Left all alone is Callahan. She will take that and hit it again. The MEAC preseason player of the year. That's the last player you want to leave alone.
Exactly. She hesitated for a second, but she's not going to get many open scoring opportunities. You got to take it when you get them.
Back to the paint go the Demon Deacons. They kick it back out. Jones, Oliver. They work it around the perimeter. Back they go to Grace Oliver, the transfer from Colorado.
And that's a great connection between Opal Bird and Grace Oliver. That happened a lot against Mercer as well. And again, NC Central getting a little bit anxious with the ball. They're going to have to take care of the ball. 4 turnovers early on, and not a lot of defensive pressure. They're just not taking care of the ball and making good decisions early on.
You mentioned it, 4 turnovers. Meanwhile, Wake Forest is red hot. They are 7 of their last 9 from the field. Oliver leading the way with 7 points and a couple of boards.
And assisting on 75% of their field goals made. Again, really unselfish team, and so many players have the ability to share the ball. It's not just 1 or 2 players. It's not just your point guards that are creating scoring opportunities for their teammates.
Wake Forest shooting nearly 60% in the first quarter. Jones flying to the rim. There was contact, but no whistle. And the ball goes to NC Central.
That's what the coaches like about Caitlin Jones. Again, being able to put the ball on the floor and attack the paint. A little bit of different player than Aurora Sorby.
Yeah, they change it. Wake Forest gets it. The scoop missed down low by Kennedy Moore. And now it's Eagles ball. Harris to her left, back to her right. Ran out of real estate, triple teamed, has it deflected and turned it over.
Nice shot by Grace Galbavie on that, getting her hands on the ball.
Left all alone is Jordan coming off the bench with the miss. The board by Oliver, she can't miss.
You see her versatility right there. Oliver is doing so many things. She's cutting back door, getting layups, doing a great job on the offensive glass as well.
She was a former 4-star recruit coming out of Massachusetts a few years ago. Transferred here to Winston-Salem, played for the Deacons this year, and has just been on fire to start off the 25-26 campaign. But answering is Tyranny Coleman, the senior, coming off the bench for the Eagles. They needed that desperately.
They definitely needed something to go through the rim.
4 seconds to go from the outside. Galbavie with the miss. Jordan, did she beat the clock? No, so we will hit the second. Yeah, nearly 60% of their points come in the paint. They're getting close to that tonight. A little bit over 50 as they take that 12-point lead into the second quarter and force another NC Central turnover. That's number 5.
When we talk about Wake Forest offensively, one of their points of emphasis this season has been, like, let's attack the paint in a myriad of different ways, whether it's Milan Brown or Caitlin Jones off the dribble, or if it's backdoor cuts or getting it to the low block.
Grace Galbavie, freshman out of Pennsylvania, gives it up to Jones, driving. Tried to drop it off and turned it over. Back the other way, Nia Young. 1 on 3, has that one swatted away, but fouled.
This is where NC Central is going to be at their best, out in transition. Particularly, they don't have to set up their offense against that zone defense, and the half court is giving NC Central a lot of problems. So if they can get out in transition, get some easy scoring opportunities, they might be able to chip into this deficit.
Young, one of a number of veterans on this experienced team. NC Central has 3 60-year seniors and 4 50-year seniors as well.
It's incredible what is going on, but that continuity and chemistry is certainly one of those things that's helping out Coach Baxter.
There you can see Moore couldn't handle the board, so NC Central gets it back after going 1 for 2 at the line. Eagles picked to come in 4th in the MEAC after finishing in 6th place last year, relying heavily on Morgan Callahan, who gets the bucket there.
And now with a 3-quarter court pressure by NC Central. Almost forced a turnover right there on that pass.
Moore had to do a double take there to make sure she had it in her hands.
Well, and freshman Savannah Metcalf in the game right now. Coach Jebbia wanted to get her some minutes in this game. Nice inbounds play by NC Central. Again, Callahan is so good at slashing to the basket and be able to finish between defenders.
It's a player who has more than 1,000 career points. Was on the fence about whether to return or not this year, but after her last game a season ago, she said so many alumni kept coming up to her saying how much they enjoyed watching her play. She said that made me want to come back, and she did. Here's her teammate, Tyranny Coleman, bearing the tray, and all of a sudden the Eagles within 6. 9-0 run. Brown with the miss. And the Eagles with a chance to pull even closer. Here is Asia Hinton with the miss. Offensive board bobbled. NC Central comes up with it. Callahan.
One of the rare misses by Callahan going to her left.
What's changed here all of a sudden is NC Central going on this run?
Right, they've changed their defensive tempo a little bit. That three-quarter court pressure, forcing Wake Forest to make some poor passes.
And all of a sudden, the momentum has just completely shifted as Sorby turns it over.
When we talked about early on in that first quarter, NC Central was not able to get the zone moving a lot. They weren't shifting from side to side. They weren't getting the ball in the middle of the floor. They've been doing a great job with dribble penetration and attacking the rim, which is loosening up the zone a bit.
Here's Tierney Coleman, the senior, one of a number of seniors. The bank is open, and it is a three-point game.
One always helps when you are shooting a heater like that.
And here's a turnover by the Demon Deacons, and one for Coleman.
It'll be great to see that again. Coleman is saying that she doesn't think that it was
PN app. As we clean up that last sequence, originally it was ruled a foul on Wake Forest. They changed it. Offensive foul on NC Central. But the Eagles still on a 12-0 run, Angela.
And it's all predicated on their defensive intensity. They're getting in passing lanes.
And there you go, forcing another turnover. Coleman bobbled it, and she was fouled.
Well, how about Tierney Coleman coming off the bench and giving North Carolina Central some quality minutes right now, again on a 12-0 run, in large part to their defensive effort. Another steal, yet another steal right now.
But keep in mind, Wake Forest still hasn't scored in this quarter. All 27 of their points came in the first.
Well, we talked early on, the only way for NC Central to stay in this game was really going to be on the defensive end. That's what they love doing, being really disruptive defensively. And you can tell right there, Coach Debbie is not happy right now with this drought.
And we mentioned it's an NC Central team that faces a number of ranked squads throughout the year, including top 10 competition. They don't get intimidated by anybody, and they have now pulled within one.
Coach laughed at us when we said that they're facing 3 top 25 opponents this year. He's like, last year we faced about 9.
Started off the year with a brutal schedule. Here's Jones down low, circling in the paint, and drew the foul, and Morgan Callahan can't believe it. Her jaw dropped.
Well, again, a swarming defense from the Eagles. One of the big differences in this second quarter is they're playing aggressive defense and not fouling. In that first quarter, they sent Wake Forest to the free throw line early on, and now they're being able to be disruptive and be physical without fouling.
And by the way, NC Central doing all this without their leading scorer. Finger has been on the bench the entire quarter with 2 fouls.
Sometimes when that happens, like, not only does somebody need to step up, but you change the way you play the game. And right now they're really focusing on the defensive end and being a little bit frenetic offensively.
Meanwhile, Jones missed the first one at the free throw line. Freshman out of Rolesville, North Carolina, 0 for 2 at the stripe. Lane kicks it out wide. Long distance miss by Asia Hinton. Freshman Brown racing down the floor, kicks it out. Carter clanks one off the rim. Oliver with the board. A battle for it stripped away by Coleman.
A little bit too much traffic to be able to try to make that pass.
Lane over to Tierney Coleman, who hit a big 3 moments ago. Coleman feeding it down low to Callahan. Draws the whistle and hits the floor.
The ball movement from the Eagles is so much better than it was early on in this game. You get the sense that they're feeling much more comfortable against the Wake Forest zone.
They're playing with juice now. I mean, you can see it out there, the confidence level going through the roof right now for NC Central. Remember, they trailed by double digits after one. They had pulled within one. Morgan Callahan, part of that comeback. Second team all-conference, and again, preseason player of the year. More than 1,000 career points and over 700 rebounds.
One of the things that I love that the coach told us was she was thinking about coming back or not. And the fact that she had an opportunity to play with Anaya Finger, who was out all season last year with an injury, was what sent it over the top. And that you love that fact, because it's all about the teammates. These are the moments that you love, the moments that matter.
And she has now given her team their first lead of the night, a 15-0 NC Central run.
Now 1-2-2 3/4 court press.
Jones finds Preston in the paint. Nice. And that lead was short-lived by NC Central,
It
Angela.
was. Nice execution by Wake Forest. You beat that press by passing the ball in the middle of the court.
We got a ball game with just over 6 to go in the half. Hinton tries her hand. It's Callahan down low. And she got hacked.
I think Asia's going to say that that was a pass. A little alley-oop.
Why not?
Lob on that play. Again, the shot, Hinton has hit the shot already in this ball game. You love Callahan aggressively going to the boards. If you don't box them out, that's one of the things that the Demon Deacons do really well. But if you don't box this team out, they're going to be able to get some second chance opportunities.
Callahan only about a 50% free throw shooter, but she is 3 for 3 so far tonight. And again, puts her team in front by 1.
And then is at the top of this pressure to see if Wake Forest can continue to beat it with the pass.
Grace Oliver had that great first quarter with 9 points. Been held in check ever since.
We're already 15 seconds off the shot clock before they get into their offense.
Don't necessarily have a true point guard this season. Looking at a number of different players here. It's Preston down low, knocked a player over. We play on. NC Central comes up with it. They have the lead. And looking for more in Asia Lane.
Good job getting back in transition by Wake Forest.
Nia Young working down low, turned it over. Jones out wide to Preston. There's Milan Brown. Carter has a good look. Halfway down and back out.
That was a nice clean look right there. Good offensive execution. It just did not go down.
No field goals in their last 3 minutes for Wake Forest. Getting outscored in this quarter, 15-2. Shakira Foster feeds it to Callahan. One-on-one in the paint with the miss. Offensive board and a whistle. As Young fighting for it, along with Oliver.
And this is one of those places where Coach Debbia talks about how do you build those winning habits. Well, it's not just on the offensive end. Defensively, we need to be able to get stops, to box out, and get some rebounds. In order for Wake Forest to regain this lead, they're going to need to ramp it up a little bit defensively.
Possession arrow was in favor of the Demon Deacons. Trying to find some offensive rhythm here late in the first half, and they go back to their bread and butter in the paint. Grace Oliver.
Right, all on the pass. There were no dribbles on that play, just kicking the ball out to the corner and reversing the ball.
That was their first field goal in 3.5 minutes, and now NC Central throws it away, their 9th turnover of the night.
Number 4, Tyranny Coleman. Back onto the floor.
So these last 4.5 minutes in the second quarter are going to be really important for Wake Forest. Can they get back to that quality offensive execution that we saw early on in this ball game, taking care of the ball and getting good looks?
Here's Preston, who had a big performance on the bench in her last game, feeding Carter, who couldn't get it to fall, and shaking her head as she heads back the other way.
That's exactly what you want if you're the Demon Deacons. You have to make that money.
Foster was driving to the bucket and drew the foul.
And I appreciate on that play, Mary Carter knows that she missed an easy layup. And as soon as they were getting ready to huddle up, she went to her teammates and pounded her chest. That was my bad. That's great leadership right there.
I want to remind you, Saturday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern, the ACC Huddle crew will be in Atlanta. It's Georgia Tech with a big-time matchup. The Huddle crew will get you ready for another full day of football, 2-hour pregame show. Previews along with expert analysis, featured stories right here on the ACC Network and the all-new ESPN app. That is a huge contest. Tech is just a half game ahead of Pitt for first place in the ACC. Meanwhile, back here in Winston-Salem with just over 4 to go. First free throw missed at the line by Foster, but makes the second to tie things up at 31.
And already both teams playing a lot of folks going deep into their benches. 12 players have seen some action from Wake Forest, 11 for NC Central.
Milan Brown to her left, talented freshman, back to Oliver.
Nice, you see Milan Brown getting herself going right there. Excellent dribble penetration, and you see the ability to hang in the air, to wait till the last minute to dump it off.
Deja Lane has that pass deflected.
This is fantastic by Milan Brown. Watch this, she puts the ball on the floor, attacks the paint, draws two, hangs in the air, and dumps it off to Grace Oliver for the dump down. That's such a beautiful move, and she's just a freshman. Just imagine once we get into ACC conference play, what she's going to be able to do.
You can see her acrobatic play as NC Central turns it over. And Brown wears number 0 in honor of the player she emulates, Russell Westbrook. 100% intensity, agility, acrobatics. See a little bit on display right there.
I saw a lot of that on display. Maybe a little bit about your game.
My game, the complete opposite of that agility and flexibility. 3.5 to go in the first half. Wake Forest hanging on by 2. And now consistently beating NC Central in the paint. That time it was Carter.
You cannot play behind in the post on Mary Carter or Grace Oliver. They will make you pay. Just a nice drop step move on that play.
And this is more now what we saw in the first quarter. Turnovers leading to points or at least fouls on the other end for the Demon Deacons.
Yeah, and if you're the Eagles, you need to do a better job of getting back in transition, particularly when you turn it over. You cannot allow this Wake Forest team to get easy layups or get out in transition and send them to the free throw line, right where they're right now, 7-11 from the free throw line.
Terrence Baxter's team has battled. Went on a 15-0 run to momentarily take the lead. And an experienced squad taking on Wake for the first time in more than a decade. Preston makes the first.
Well, we talked a little bit about Anaya Finger. One of the keys to this NC Central team has been on the bench, has only played 3 minutes in today's game.
Brown, meanwhile, taken over with the offensive board, but couldn't finish. Lane out wide. Coleman, a battle for it underneath. Another jump ball. The possession arrow this time goes to Central.
Once again, we see in transition, if Wake Forest isn't matching up with their players in transition, it makes it really difficult to be able to box out. And NC Central is sending all of their players to the glass.
The Eagles on a 5-minute field goal drought, and that will continue as they turn it over. Brown, 3-on-3, back the other way. Out wide, Sorby has that one just swatted down. Lane drops it off. Asia Hinton travel.
It's a good idea by Asia Hinton on there. Just got a little bit happy feet on that particular play. Trying to reset a little bit, give herself some more space to get the three-point shot off.
See now the body language a little bit different over these past few minutes after that run of turnovers for the Eagles.
When we think about this, like for about 5 minutes, they were giving ultimate effort. Now they look a little bit fatigued. It's tough to be able to play 40 minutes at that pace and tempo defensively.
Deacs back up by 5 and looking for more. Here is Brown. Preston has a great look from the corner, but the miss. Brown, she has been everywhere over the last 5 minutes.
Nice job by Milan Brown. Since she's been back on the court, she's done the little things to be able to regain this lead.
Every field goal in this quarter for the Demon Deacons has come in the paint. That one knocked out of the hands of Diana Blake. Sorby, sophomore out of Norway. Preston, down low they go. And it falls. Mary Carter again.
Mary Carter was not going to miss that layup on that play. Great pass away from the defense by Preston, and a nice finish by Carter.
9-0 Wake run with 1.5 to play in the half. Hinton from the wing, no. Wake comes up with it. And the Eagles just really struggling. But Wake turns it over.
Yeah, a little bit of a double dribble on that play. A good idea by Preston. Just got a little bit too anxious to make a decision. She didn't know if she was going to keep it herself or try to kick it ahead on the 2-on-1 fast break.
So it's an 11-1 run over the last 3 minutes plus for the Demon Deacons. At 1 point earlier in the quarter, It was NC Central with 15 points in this quarter, Wake with 2. That suddenly seems like ages ago as Callahan draws the foul.
It feels a little bit like NC Central is going to need to fill up their tank a little bit. In that period early on in the second quarter, they were disruptive defensively, getting in pass lanes, getting turnovers, leading to easy scoring opportunities. And now, on the reverse, Wake Forest is getting out in transition.
Morgan Callahan with a team-high 12 points. The miss there, again, they have played almost the entire game without their leading scorer, Anaya Finger, who got into foul trouble in the opening moments of this contest.
Just 3 minutes in that first quarter, and yet they've been able to put up 31.
And Callahan missed both. The 9-0 run continues. 60 seconds to go in the first half. Sorby.
Nice high hedge.
Jordan guarded by the 6'5" Madge Penn. Good luck getting around her. But a foul on the Eagles.
Well, Tierney Coleman, as a guard, you hate that switch. And when you end up on a post player on the low block, there's not much you can do as you try to come around and get a steal.
Surprised Jordan could even see around Madge Penn at 6'5". Not many angles there to see her teammate. She did. Preston down low, but that one waved off. So heading to the free throw line will be Preston.
Wake Forest has done a
tournament 2021, and the only other time was in 1988. But again, off to their best start this year since that 21 campaign. Preston makes the first. Wake about 65% from the line. Preston goes 2 for 2. And that lead has ballooned back to 11. Remember, they led by 12 heading into the quarter, momentarily lost the lead. They're back up by double digits. Asia Lane. Callahan. Shot clock under 10. Out wide is Young. Callahan, she was left all alone, but passed up the look, fed it down low, and the miss by Grant. Shot clock is off. Sorby. Less than 10. Jordan from the wing. Preston hustles to hurry from the corner. Misses that one. Callahan with the board. And that will do it for the first half. The Demon Deacons end the half on the
opportunities. Just make sure that she's cautious defensively and not getting any loose fouls.
Second half underway. Sorby, the sophomore from the outside, drains it.
Shooting only 17% from the three-point line on the season. Probably really good for the team and for Sorby to see the ball go through the rim.
Yeah, that's not their game. I mean, if they're already working in the paint and then bearing those, NC Central is in trouble as they turn it over.
And what that does is on the make, it allows Wake Forest to get back and set up their defense, and that zone has been difficult for NC Central to devise and figure out a way to attack it.
15 turnovers now forced by Wake Forest. The Deacons trying to go to 5-0 for the first time since 2021, but they return the favor there in the turnover column.
Really good idea by Kennedy Moore. A nice high-low opportunity to pass this out. A little bit too much mustard on it.
And listen, it's a new Demon Deacons team. It's going to take time for them to gel as well. 8 new faces, including 5 freshmen. But so far, so good this year.
You love the results as you're working on that chemistry and starting to play as a winning team.
Anaya Finger back in the game, traveled. And leading the Eagles this year, 12.5 points per contest, 19 against Wilmington. They turned it over. Brown to a wide open Carter.
Carter didn't make the shot, but nice job of breaking that press. Got the ball in the middle of the court to Milan Brown, and she did a great job of picking it out on a 3-on-2.
She usually hits those. Meanwhile, the Eagles step out of bounds.
That's 3 quick turnovers
Yeah.
by NC Central. That is certainly not the way that you're going to chip away at this 14-point lead.
Cutting to the basket, Oliver. She's up to 15.
That's textbook right there. Excellent job. All on them to try to get some turnovers. But if Wake Forest breaks it like that and gets easy layups, you can simply not stay in your full-court pressure.
Yeah, Angela, you brought up a great point during the break as that one swatted away with a foul. It's kind of the danger zone right now for NC Central. Wake Forest up big on a huge run. They're really trying to put this one out of reach.
It is, and sometimes you tend to it's a mindset. So as a team that's behind by 16, you try to get that 16 points back in one possession, and you just have to stay and stick to your habits both on the offensive and defensive end and chip away, get stops and scores, and try to get this to single digits when you get into the fourth quarter. But you certainly have to make your free throws when you get those opportunities at the freebie.
Blake did not do that on the first attempt as Anaya Finger looks on.
And you can see right now the body language for NC Central. We'll be watching this over the next few minutes to see if they stay in this game and continue to give the effort that got them back into the game and a lead in the first half.
They were flying around the court when they went on that 15-2 run in the second quarter, but ever since then, as you said, different body language out there.
Well, nice job right there. So Coach Baxter changed it up a little bit. They had a zone press, and this particular time they did a man press, a little run and jump. So forcing the ball handlers to have to make some quick decisions, which forced that turnover.
Double dribble. On the night, Wake shooting 45%. NC Central not far behind at 40%.
It really is about the turnovers for NC Central.
Callahan, close miss. Underneath. And the Eagles draw a foul. Heading to the line will be Diana Blake.
When you talk about NC Central is shooting fairly well from the floor, 38% right now, but with 17 turnovers, they're simply not getting the opportunities to get the ball up on the rim and to be able to crash. They have 5 offensive rebounds. If they can simply get the shot up, they give themselves a chance.
Well, basketball season just getting started, but volleyball is hitting crunch time. What a top 10 matchup we got for you Wednesday night right here on the ACC Network and the all-new ESPN app. Number 4 Pitt playing host to number 7 Louisville. The Panthers have beaten the Cards 5 of the last 6 meetings. That will be must-see TV. Coverage begins 7 Eastern as Blake makes that one. It's a 47-33 contest with 8 to play in the third. Sorby double teamed, but was fouled.
Well, I expect Sorby or Milan Brown, whoever has the ball in the hand, NC Central is going to do a little bit of a run and jump right now. Cannot turn your back on the defense because they will come and try to get that steal.
Sorby, starting point guard. They don't know if she will be in that role for the foreseeable future, especially next year and after. But right now, asking her to play that role, and she's doing it well.
Doing a really nice job. And it's one of those things that's going to help her when she goes back off ball next year.
It is from the outside by Carter.
And Wake Forest doing a really nice job of getting 3-4 players back in transition.
Pump fake and the miss by Coleman. Sorby surveying the defense, got fouled there.
Yeah.
Was reaching for it was Coleman.
Tierney Coleman played some really big minutes in the first half. Did a nice job coming off the bench, hit a couple big threes, got that team back in it. But again, you want to be able to defend and be aggressive at the point of attack without foul.
Yeah, trying to put some pressure on. They have to get back in this game. But as you said, called for another foul. That's the 3rd on Coleman.
When there's a new rule this year, so you have the hot stove touch, which allows you to be a little bit physical at the defensive end, but you have to make sure that you're not keeping that arm bar on the offensive player.
Maybe that was helping Hannah Hidalgo get some of those record 16 steals the other night.
Hidalgo does not need any extra help. Yeah. Just ask Debbie Antonelli.
Let's take a look at this battle down low. A moment ago, physical play, Grace Oliver battling with Nia Young.
Well, Oliver got the foul on that play. I like how physical she was. It's one of the things that Wake Forest needs to be able to do, play with a little bit more physical intensity.
Callahan has that one poked away by the freshman Brown. 2-on-1, back on the other end. Great dish from Brown, finding Sorby.
So unselfish. Brown had an easy layup herself, but she had a teammate that was running the floor and rewarded her for running hard.
Brown, really talented, electric player, averaging 9 points and 7 boards per game. She had 33 D1 offers and chose Wake coming out of Baltimore. Callahan answers.
Nice dribble penetration by Nia Young, creating that opportunity. Again, a little bit of running and jumping on this defense, trying to get some steals.
By the way, that was Central's first field goal in more than 11 minutes.
Unbelievable.
Oh my, Oliver left all alone in the paint.
Well, this is where Wake Forest will just pick you apart. Really patient offensively, moving the ball. If you get out of position, you turn your head, they're going to go back door and get an easy layup.
Oliver on pace for another career night. She's up to 17, 4 shy of her career high, which she set in the last game. Missed by Young. Wake Forest just pulling away now. Sorby. They gave her a clear path through the paint. Brown.
Now that is a tough finish between two defenders, two bigger defenders, and you see how physical Milan Brown is as just a freshman.
Wake Forest pouring it on in this half on an 11-4 run. 3 of their last 3 from the field. Hinton flanks one off the rim. Brown nearly lost the handle.
So much floor spacing from Wake Forest right now. 5 out.
That one goes right back to Sorby.
Not sure if it hit the rim on that play. I think the officials are going to take a look to see if they needed to reset the shot clock or if it did not hit the rim.
On the floor for the Eagles, Amaya Harris.
Meanwhile, substitutions being made for both teams.
And
One more look.
Raven Preston and Oakland back for your team.
So it hit the net, but not the rim.
Good call by the officials.
So there will be 5 on the shot clock. Preston with the inbound. Sorby has to hurry. Raven Preston fires one up. A little bit too strong.
Got a great look in 5 seconds. Excellent execution.
Wake just 3 of 14, 3 of 15 now from three-point land, but it hasn't come back to haunt them. Young slicing around the D and drew the foul on Grace Oliver. Take a timeout here in Winston-Salem. Yes to all of the above. During Feast Week, 11 days of action featuring more than 65 games, more than 130 hours. Thanksgiving a week away. Angela, what are you going with? What's your go-to dish?
Hey, I know we had a lot of international players in that vignette, but now you're speaking my language when you're talking about food. And so some mac and cheese, some collard greens,
Yes.
like some stuffing. Oh man, the
You're
list
making me
goes on.
hungry.
But you know
Please
what?
stop.
I'm with Laura Siegler on that. I'm from Idaho, so mashed potatoes, you cannot go wrong with the mashed potatoes, although I don't have that Thanksgiving.
Have a lot of sweet potato casserole. It's got to have the marshmallows because I'm 5 and I need candy on it, like sweets. Just all of that sounded good. And again, plenty of Feast Week action to enjoy while we're all enjoying the food as well. 4:24 to go in the third, and Wake Forest has just been dominating really the last quarter and a half now.
We talk about feast. They're feasting in the paint right now. 34 points in the paint, plus 22 are the Wake Forest Demon Deacons.
There's finally an answer by Tierney Coleman falling to the floor, but getting it to go. Wake Forest outscoring NC Central in the paint, 34-14. And we knew that coming in. Wake Forest, with their height, presented a mismatch to NC Central, who didn't have a starter taller than 6 feet. And the Demon Deacons have taken advantage of that tonight.
When they're getting it in some unconventional ways. It's not just on the low block, but it's dribble penetration, it's backdoor cuts as well. They're just really wide open, free-flowing offense.
And drawing the foul is the senior captain, Emily Johns, senior out of New Jersey. Missed all of last year due to an injury. Before that, spent some time at American University with her head coach there, Megan Jebbia.
Coach Jebbia talked when we asked, like, who are the leaders on this team? Who are the vocal leaders on the floor that are extensions of the coaching staff? And one of the first players she mentioned was Emily Johns, who's been with her for a long time, understands the program, the system, the fit, and what the coaches expect.
It helps when you have a player you're familiar with who's like a coach on the floor. They don't have to say much. She knows what the head coach is thinking. Missed it there, jump ball.
And I ran into Emily on the way into the arena during shoot-around and was just talking to her a little bit about how her experience is here at Wake Forest. And she says she's enjoying it, taking all online classes right now, so it's a little different experience than that American, but really enjoying the learning experience as well as playing on this team.
And enjoying the start to her last season as they're looking to go 5-0. Last time they did that, they made the NCAA tournament. That one kicked by Mary Carter.
Wake Forest doing a really nice job of moving in the zone, trying to minimize those passing lanes that NC Central has.
Substitutions made for the Eagles. It's Callahan with 14, Coleman with 13 leading the way for NC Central.
And again, just Anaya Fingers only playing 7 minutes thus far in this game, going scoreless.
And that leaves the team extremely short-handed without their leading scorer against the power conference opponent, but there is Callahan coming up with the bucket.
And great pass by Finger on that play. Really unselfish, could try to force it since she has not scored in the game, but really unselfish play.
And NC Central cut the deficit to single digits before we hit the end of the quarter. It's got to be the goal. Johns with her jersey getting pulled, no whistle. NC Central ball.
Yeah, Johns looked at the official. I think we all saw it here at half court, but no foul call.
We play on. Lane directing traffic. There's Nia Young, senior out of Raleigh. Finger back in the game and delivers.
There's Nia Finger now, 11-point game. They've held Wake Forest scoreless in the last 3 minutes. So right now, if you can get to below double digits heading into the fourth quarter, who knows what can happen.
8-1 run, and you would think, yeah, if they're going to come back, it has to happen now.
Now's the moment. Now is the time on the defensive end.
Final minutes of the third quarter. Carter.
Good help.
Bird gets it to drop. Opal Bird, the freshman out of Australia.
Nice patience for the freshman on that play as help side came over.
That halts the run and the momentum by NC Central. Here's Young, decent look, and buries it.
Nice. Really nice play right there. Spacing the floor, nice kick out for the three.
They're 4 of their last 4, 10-point game, less than 2 to play in the third. Thrown away by Bird.
And Bird likes that high-low pass right there. May have predetermined what she was going to do on that play, expecting the backdoor cut to be wide open. But it wasn't, and now getting a little bit uncomfortable if you're Wake Forest, as one of the star players for the Eagles still not playing well, and it's only a 10-point ball game.
You can see the concern on Megan Jebbia's face. NC Central on a hot streak now as we hit the final 2 minutes for their last 4. 11-3 run.
Oh, that looked good.
Yeah, it did, but it did not go down. Missed by Nia Young. Sorby.
If you're Wake Forest, you have to get a good look. You need to get a good shot in this possession.
Kennedy Moore turned it over. A couple of Eagles collided. Callahan nearly threw it away. NC Central comes up with it. Young gliding to the bucket.
And right now, there's the energy and the effort on the defensive end. You had 3 or 4 NC Central players diving on the floor for that loose ball.
Look out, Eagles within 8. We've seen a run like this from them before. Moore to Oliver down low. Somehow, Circus shot falls.
So crafty there on a low block. Does a great job. How is she always open on those backdoor cuts? Just really understands how to read the defense.
She's up to 19, 2 shy of her career high. Lane down low. Working in the paint. The miss by Blake. Offensive put back by Callahan.
And that's what Callahan has done all night long. As soon as the shot goes up on the rim, she is tracing it and trying to get in position for the offensive board.
She's got 18, 30 to go in the third. And a foul. You can feel the intensity picking up, Angela.
You do, and this is great hustle on display by North Carolina Central, and they end up being the beneficiary of that hustle, chipping into this lead. And then right here, just Grace Oliver on that low block. If you were going to try to defend her with a guard, it's impossible. She knows how to use her body and to get position for that backdoor cut.
Making it look easy. She had Eagles all around. Carter off the inbounds. She's been cold from outside, but the offensive board. Preston. Jones ran into a wall.
Good recovery by NC Central.
About a 5-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock, and the shot clock under 5. Out wide, that one off the rim in the glass. 3 seconds to go. Coleman fires one up. Misses the mark, but they did pull within single digits, ending the third on a 15-5 run of the big game. Play resumes here, start of the fourth quarter. NC Central has outscored Wake Forest in each of the last 2 quarters. Oliver and Callahan leading the way for their respective squads tonight.
Grace Oliver, we talked about one of the most efficient players in the country, in the top 25 in efficiency, shooting 65% from the floor. Tonight, 75%, 9 of 12 from the floor, really efficient floor game, 19 points, 8 rebounds.
Top 3 in the ACC in field goal percentage, nearly turned it over there, but it is Wake Forest ball with 13 on the shot clock. Kennedy Moore looking for help, hassled by Lane. Turned over, a battle for it. Picked up by Finger, gives it up to Lane. Callahan down low to Anaya Finger with the miss off the glass. It was a big opportunity for the Eagles.
It really was, and it felt like Finger maybe forced that shot for the first time tonight.
Just hasn't gotten into rhythm this evening due to limited minutes.
Well, I think the size is bothering a little bit. She usually gets those opportunities on the low block.
Milan Brown gives it up. Lane back the other way. Demon Deacons quickly get back on defense. Young baseline. Goes glass. 6-point game.
Nice job by Young right now. Help side did not come over aggressively. A great decision to be able to stop and pop.
Well, listen, Wake, despite being undefeated already, they've been in some close games this season, so they're no stranger to this.
They're battle tested for sure.
Coleman trying to save it while falling out of bounds.
Yeah, it was great hustle. Had an opportunity for a 2-on-1 fast break there, but the official made the called it out of bounds. Unfortunate for NC Central.
Joseph Vasily said inadvertent whistle, so Callahan will inbounds for Central. And then really controlled play for a good chunk of that third quarter. This is the opening moments of the fourth. NC Central has never won in this building, ever, but Lane has now pulled them within 4.
Well, Lane does not take a lot of shots, but she's been on the floor for 28 minutes, and has done an excellent job of being the floor general and the defender at the point of attack.
19-5, Eagles run. Brown passed up a good look there. Oliver. And drawing the foul was Raven Preston.
NC Central doing a much better job on those backdoor cuts. Help side's coming over. They're making those passes really difficult right there. And it looks like Wake Forest is almost forcing that pass versus reading the defense and hitting the open shooter.
NC Central knows Wake is going to the paint. They've been able to deny that in the past few minutes. The inbound to Oliver had a good look, but had it knocked away.
Wake Forest has been able to get that inbounds play all night long, not on that play.
It took a moment to collect the ball, and that cost her. Callahan It's a scramble on the floor, jump ball, possession arrow stays with Central.
And that's one of those things with Callahan. She knows her limitations, but defensively, NC Central getting their hands on the ball. Great job by Finger, and you have to love the fact she's not scoring the way she wants to, but she's getting the hand on the ball, and a nice job coming over and help side, creating the jump ball situation.
Opal Bird, the freshman, with that 6'3" frame and taking advantage of it. So it'd be Coleman to inbound. Finds Young. That one off the Demon Deacons. Wake Forest still hasn't scored in this quarter.
Well, Finger battling with Opal Bird on that low block. She really wants the ball.
She has it, but comes up short. Another scramble. Another jump ball, and this time the possession arrow goes the other way.
Well, the length on the Wake Forest side is forcing Finger to get shots in places that she's not as comfortable. She likes to get on that low block and be able to drop, step, and go. With the length of Bird in that play, she's having to face up a little bit more, which is not her sweet spot.
Sorby bringing it up the floor. Both these teams shooting just over 40% on the night. The Wake lead has been trimmed to 4, and a whistle on NC Central.
Yeah, Nasia Lane just a little bit on that cut, got a little handsy on that play. She's done a nice job all evening defensively and just got caught with her hand in the cookie jar a little bit on that play.
Senior transfer from Delaware State, cannot believe it with 7.5 to play in regulation. So Sorby will inbound. Milan Brown, who had a huge second quarter. Nice pass to Preston, going into the paint. They were ready for her.
Well, great job by Tierney Coleman coming over on the help side and cutting off the baseline.
Young on the wing, back to Lane. They work it around, firing one up. A bit too strong from Coleman.
Great box out.
Here comes Milan Brown, the freshman. A wild throw. Preston collects and gets it to fall. Was a big-time bucket for the Demon Deacons as Preston now in double figures, a little bit more breathing room with less than 7 to play.
2-possession game right now. The Eagles need to get a good shot. Running the shot clock down here a little bit. You're gonna have to force something up.
Lane, and that one just absolutely rejected by Opal Bird. She has had a couple of big blocks over the last few sequences, but then they throw it away.
When I thought NC Central took a little bit too much time off the clock in that last possession. You don't want to rush things, but you certainly don't want to wait till they're
lead by 6.
They really have, and that's going to be key. Like, they're doing a nice job offensively as Wake Forest, but defensively they need to shut down this NC Central attack.
And a travel on the Eagles.
One of the things that's standing out right now, both teams have gone deep into their benches playing 12 players. NC Central is getting great productivity from their bench, 29-17, a plus 12 advantage off the bench, which has to be something that Coach Baxter is happy about.
Certainly kept them in the game, but that was their 19th turnover of the night a moment ago. Opal Bird has had a couple of big blocks over the last few minutes, being hassled out by the perimeter. Brown, pretty decent look. She's looking to give it up. Bird works it around. Here's Mary Carter. Pull-up jumper, gets it to fall.
Good patience by Carter on that play. You see her versatility again at 6'3", putting the ball on the floor, getting to the mid-range.
She's now in double digits with 11 points on the night. Deacs back up by 8. Lane baseline. Nasia Lane. Young from three-point land, unable to hit it.
Young thought that was going in. It looked good as soon as it left her hand, but you get the sense that this is the key defensive possession from NC Central.
Miss from the corner. Neither team has really shot well from three-point land, but Wake is dominated in the paint. Oliver denied. There's the freshman Brown coming up short. Offensive board and fouled. No, that's travel. The Finger had it. You could see the reaction there.
Yeah, if you're NC Central, you need to create some opportunities here defensively. You don't really use that three-point line as an attack. So you're down 8, 3-possession game. You need to get some easy transition layups to try to chip away at this lead.
They've had their opportunities, had one there as Finger gets a breather. After the travel call, 5:13 to go in the contest. Off the inbounds. Falling over is Carter. A whistle on NC Central.
Well, the first foul on Morgan Callahan. She's played 30 minutes. It's her first foul. Really done a good job defensively without fouling.
Terrence Baxter absolutely frustrated right now over these last few minutes and calls. His team pulled within 4. But that's as close as they got here in the fourth quarter, at least so far. Brown.
Good defense, excellent defense by Asia Hinton.
Carter guarded by Young. Brown, shot clock at 5, working in the paint, and draws contact and a whistle.
Again, nice probing by Belon Brown on that particular play. She was really patient with the ball in her hands while she was attacking the paint.
And Nasia Lane frustrated as she picks up foul number 4. Those reactions say it all.
Well, she's played 32 minutes in this game, done a really nice job as a floor general for NC Central. They don't really have a lot of players that have the ball in their hands setting up the offense.
And she has now fouled out of the game. Great effort tonight. She had 4 fouls picked up at technical, and you can see the emotions from the senior transfer who gave it her all. NC Central has battled tonight, but running out of time.
Number 4, Tyranny.
There's the foul, and then the technical. You see the words afterwards that drew the technical.
When you're the veteran leader, in this particular moment, there's 5 minutes left in this ball game. It's a 3-possession game. You have to stay on the floor. Particularly as a floor general, it is so important for her to be able to initiate offense. Now we're going to have to find somebody else to have the ball in their hands.
And frustrated knowing how close they have come. They had the lead in the second quarter. Again, we're within 4 a few moments ago, but just haven't been able to get over the hump.
It tells you how much these players want this. Like, this is a huge opportunity. And Coach Baxter has talked to us. Like, they play a competitive schedule, but these players know that they want to come in and compete for 40 minutes against anybody.
Well, it's Sorby at the stripe, and just like that, the lead has ballooned back to double digits. And now it's at 11, 7-0 Wake run. Terrence Baxter, again, who's done a terrific job, and now in his 3rd year in charge of the Eagles. The team on the verge of dropping to 1-4 early in the season, and again, facing a brutal schedule at the start.
The record is no indication of how hard they've been playing.
Absolutely. Less than 5 to go. Belon Brown. She has had a really complete performance tonight. 6 points, 6 assists, and 7 boards for the freshman. Poked out of bounds off Central.
Nice effort right there by Morgan Callahan. Kept her feet in front of her player, did a nice job of moving her feet and not allowing Carter to turn the corner.
Brown to inbound, Sorby. Belon Brown to the right, to her left, pull-up jumper, misses it. And board by the Eagles. 7-0 Wake run over the last 2.5 minutes. And Central hasn't scored in more than 4 minutes. Desperately in need of a bucket. Young, will they get one? No, and Bird with the board.
Not a lot of movement offensively from NC Central.
Opal Bird has had a nice fourth quarter. Going to the floor with Sorby and Callahan. And possession arrow goes to Wake. No, to Central. Down by 11, 3:55 to go. Opal Bird has come up with a couple of blocks, a nice board.
Really
the freshman
poised
having a
for
strong, final quarter.
Well, Wake Forest has 3 freshmen that are seeing quality time. Milan Brown, Caitlin Jones, and Opal Bird.
And an and one by Nia Young, the senior.
Nice dribble penetration by Nia Young. Help side comes over, but just the ability to contort her body and avoid the block, the finish with contact.
One of those experienced players on this squad.
He played a really nice game. 12 points on 4-10 from the floor.
Within 8. Wake Forest 6-1 all time against the Central squad. Sorby lost the handle, 2-on-1 the other way. Hinton stays back, feeds it down to Callahan. One of the and one, but at least we'll head to the line.
Well, and when you're able to create defensive pressure and get deflections like NC Central does, this game is not over. Again, we have 3.5 minutes left. It's a 12-point game. Wake Forest cannot be reckless with the ball.
I want to remind you, Monday night's ACC Network featured matchup will be Hannah Hidalgo and the Fighting Irish taking on Central Michigan at 9 Eastern. Also available on the all-new ESPN app. Meanwhile, the first free throw missed by Callahan. They really needed that one. As substitutions being made by both squads. The coaches talking over strategy. Callahan makes 1 of 2, 7-point game, 3.5 to play. Sorby quickly got rid of that one to beat the press. Brown, the freshman, the double team is on. Calmly gets rid of it, Preston. Nice ball movement by the Demon Deacons under pressure. Brown, no call. Here comes Central back the other way. Callahan, preseason MEAC Player of the Year, lost the handle. And it's Wake ball.
It looked like it went off of Callahan's thigh on that. That's one of the things in transition. She loves to get to that left hand. The defender was playing her for that move.
Central had a chance there. Here's Milan, her career high. As NC Central has actually outscored Wake Forest in each of the last 3 quarters, but they still trail by 7. Wake scoreless in the last 2 minutes plus. Opal Bird bouncing around and out. A battle for it. That'll be a shot clock violation.
Well, it hit the rim, so she...
Oh yeah, the buzzer went off, but regardless, it hit the rim. But
another good defensive possession by NC Central. Not sure what exactly happened in that play, what the officials called.
It'll be a foul on Preston, her second. And Central brings it up the court. And then gives it up to Hinton. Young long handle, huge turnover. 2-on-2 back the other way. Brown gives it up to Sorby. One passing by the underclassman.
The 7th assist in this ball game by Milan Brown. She's been so unselfish. Certainly had an opportunity at the rim herself, but dished it off to her teammate.
Sign of things to come for the young Demon Deacons. 7 assists, 7 boards, and 6 points for the freshman Milan Brown. Banked off the glass by Young. Got less than 2 to play. Wake up by 9. Brown baseline. She has been so poised down the stretch. Sorby wide open with the miss. Coleman and Preston went to the floor.
Nice job, just being active by Sorby, getting out in transition. Excellent job sharing the ball with a 2-on-1 break. And you just get the sense like Sorby, she took that 3-pointer in that last possession. There were about 14 seconds left on the shot clock. She's not shooting the ball from 3 particularly well in the season, just 16%. I would have loved her to continue to run the offense and run more clock.
After that, it was a foul on Raven Preston, her 3rd. Final 90 seconds on the way, and the Eagles just nothing going on offense right now. They turn it over.
It's getting really frustrating right now. And the coach is trying to calm them down, saying, look, we're still in this, a minute and a half left. It's a 3-possession game.
North Carolina Central foul.
But now,
number 3,
Wake Forest is in the bonus. Going to be sending them to the free throw line after every foul.
See the frustration from head coach Terrence Baxter and his team. 1 for their last 10 from the field. And as you mentioned, Angela, Wake will head to the line. Raven Preston. This is the first. They haven't been great from the free throw line. Haven't been great from the three-point line as well, but it hasn't really mattered. They have just been terrific in the paint.
They really have done a nice job. And that's what got them out to the early lead in the first quarter, that 12-point lead.
Miss both. Battle for it on the floor. Ball stays with Wake. So right now tonight, Wake with 42 points in the paint. Their season average 43, just about right on the money.
Exactly what Coach Gebbia wants, for them to be really aggressive in attacking the paint. But we talked about the difference in this game was how Wake Forest got out to the early start. Other than that, you talked about how evenly this game has been played by NC Central, actually leading in 2 of the 3 quarters.
Megan Gebbia off to the best start of her tenure here in Winston-Salem. A minute 25 away from starting the season 5-0. Oliver, that would have been a new career high for her if she hit it. Sorby came up with the board.
Coach asked him just to run some clock.
Preston. Miss. Central with the ball. A minute to go here from the Joel. Oh, there's an and one, and the Eagles not dead yet. Coleman with the bucket.
Tierney Coleman has played an excellent game. Watch as Coleman gets out in transition. No one picks up the ball until she gets to the three-point line. Nice hesitation, splits the defense. That's a pro move right there, and that nice turnaround jumper and an opportunity for an and one.
She's got 15 points, but misses the free throw, comes up with the offensive rebound. Huge board. And the bucket by Hinton from downtown. We got a 4-point game. Tense moments for Megan Gebbia.
Again, she advances the ball and doesn't want to see that full court pressure.
Raven Preston will inbound. There's Mary Carter. Gives it up to Preston. 45 seconds in regulation. Sorby, the sophomore, looking for help. Sorby hassled by Hinton. Sorby nowhere to go. Finally makes a move. Lost the handle. Central ball. Back the other way. They have numbers. And Finger pulls them within 2.
All right, this is a different ball game now. Wake Forest taking their time here. Look for Hinton to pick up, try to create another turnover.
7-0 Eagles run.
You got a foul.
Got a foul. Shot clock is off. Bird with the ball. And finally, there's the whistle.
Yeah, they waited a little bit too long on that play. If you're NC Central, you want to try to get a steal, maybe a pass or two, but then you don't want too much time to go off the clock. Still a chance with Opelberg going to the free throw line.
The freshman Bird is a 55% free throw shooter in her first year with the Demon Deacons.
2 for 2 on the night.
Misses the first.
So NC Central with 1 timeout.
And missed both. The board by Coleman. She has been everywhere in the fourth. And Central now with it.
Defense. So I would love to see the ball in Tierney Coleman's hands. See if you can get an on-ball screen and if she can turn the corner.
Morgan Callahan with 19 points will inbound. There is Coleman. 15 seconds on the clock. Hinton gives it up. Young. 10 to play. Hinton bobbled it.
You got to get a shot off.
In trouble. And Preston takes it away with 3.5 to go. 68% free throw shooter. Tonight, 6 of 9. That's a big first one made by the junior out of Greensboro, North Carolina.
Stepped up with a lot of confidence.
She makes this next one. That could be the dagger. Misses it. Eagles still have a chance. Got to hurry. No timeouts. Heaving one up is Coleman. And no, Wake Forest survives to improve to 5-0 as they remain undefeated.